Would you file an FIR against the steel minister? It's as silly as that.
Neeraj Kaul, do you believe there's no corporate accountability beyond a certain point here?
No, there are two different issues. The law in India has recognized constructive liability when it comes to recompensing an investor who has invested on assurances of an employee acting on behalf of a bank. But it's quite another issue to fasten vicariously criminal liability on a bank. Because to fasten criminal liability, you have to establish that the bank or its officers or the management in general were party to the fraud being perpetrated. That's why Suhel is right in saying that on one hand is the issue of criminal liability. You can't just drag everyone to court. You have to establish as a matter of fact that others were involved in the fraud. But yes, as far as the civil liability of compensation, constructive liability, the principle of alter ego is concerned, definitely the bank could be held liable to recompense people who've lost money.
Sujata, do you see this only as a rogue incident, or do you believe that it reveals somewhere bad supervision by the bank and not so much regulatory issues?
No, Rajdeep, I think, the Citibank thing is going to be murky in a different way, okay? One is that, let's keep aside the Agarwal case. I don't know what that is about. They're making a lot of allegations and they're blank checks that they signed. But, there's something very strange about this, because not too many people are complaining. Okay, it's hard to believe that wealthy people don't know that you can't earn 2 to 3% interest per month. Okay, and if they believe that there was a document where SEBI had appointed some Premnath as a custodian and issued checks in the name of that Premnath, there is something really wrong. And what I hear from the market is that a lot of customers knew what is going on. The money was going into the stock market, it was going into shares that they wanted to invest in, and it wasn't all that innocent. So I'm not sure that it's only about the bank. Yes, it is about a rogue employee, but I don't think it's all about supervision as Mr. Agarwal is making it out to be. I don't know what his case is. I think I heard somebody asking him earlier today about what happened to the settlement he was discussing with Citibank, and I still don't know whether Citibank has said they won't make good that money. I would think they would. They are insured.
Are you therefore saying, Sujata, that it reveals the nature of the relationship that exists between the so-called relationship managers and high net worth individuals who perhaps were well aware of what was going on?
At least some of them were. I mean, I'm not sure all 30, 33, I think there were about 30 customers. I'm not guaranteeing that all 30 knew, maybe some were cheated, but I think a lot of them knew what was going on.
Suhel said that's where it comes down to. The fact is that there are people within the system who are exploiting the system, and the bank itself either turned a blind eye or didn't know what was going on. Perhaps the latter, didn't know what was going on. What does that suggest about the bank, that you put such a person in a very trusted position as your relationship manager responsible for the entire Gurgaon area?
Will you allow me to construct the logic and demolish the fact that you've just raised? Give me a minute without interruption. I work in Bank X. Okay, I'm an employee of Bank X. You are my managing director. I don't even tell you, I don't even open a Ponzi scheme account in your bank. I go to your wife, I take her money, I deposit it in an account which has nothing to do with Bank X. I mean, what do you expect, Rajdeep? How does the bank supervise money that is not even in the bank? A. B. How does the bank supervise money which is not in any account related to that bank or any of its branches? It's a typical roguish behavior. As far as the stock market or where the money went, frankly, I don't know. My
but it can't be an individual's role. It can't be an individual. It can't be an individual. There are corporates. There are corporates who perhaps participated in it at various levels.
Correct. So please understand. There are lots of victims on both sides of the fence. Citibank is a victim as much as the Hero Group is a victim, as much as Sanjeev Agarwal is a victim. Which is why I think what Citi did, and I'm not saying this with any bias, I think what Citi did was rope in the regulator, and Reserve Bank of India is one of the finest regulators in the world in the banking industry. Talk to SEBI, bring back confidence. They did all those things. They talked to customers. They were the ones who filed a complaint with the Gurgaon police. To now then blame the victim on both sides, whether it's the investor or the bank, and say that, oh, you guys were involved. I mean, that in itself is a trite, illogical, and to my mind, an outlandish argument.